You say you want truth. Everyone says it. People come to me and they say, I want to know what is real. I want truth. And I look into their eyes and I see something else. I don't see a thirst for truth. I see a thirst for safety. Because truth is not safe. Truth is like the open sky, vast, unprotected, unpredictable. It has no walls, no fences, no guarantees, and your mind is a coward. It wants a small room with a lock. It wants certainty. It wants security. It wants to feel protected. So when you say truth, understand what you are really asking for. A belief that will make you feel secure. Belief is security. Truth is freedom. And freedom is dangerous, not because it harms you, but because it destroys your prisons, it destroys your attachments, it destroys your old identity. It destroys your comfortable lies. So the mind prefers a lie it can rely on rather than a truth that will shake it. That's why people don't really seek truth. They seek consolation. They seek a father in the sky. They seek a scripture that tells them what to do. They seek rules, commandments, morals, not because they love truth, but because they are afraid of living without support. They want to lean on something. Truth does not allow leaning. Truth says, stand alone. And standing alone feels frightening to the mind because the mind has been trained to be dependent. From childhood you were taught, obey, believe, follow, don't question too much, respect the elders, respect tradition, respect the crowd. You were never taught how to trust your own seeing. You were never taught how to live in the unknown. So the unknown became your enemy. And truth is unknown. Truth is not a conclusion, it is an opening. Now watch your own life. Whenever you face uncertainty, anxiety arises. When you don't know what will happen, you feel shaky. And immediately the mind searches for something to hold a plan, a prediction, a promise, a belief. This is why religions have been so successful. They sell certainty. They say, do this and you will be saved. They say, follow this and you will reach heaven. They say, believe this and you will not be afraid. It is a beautiful business. And you buy it because you are afraid. But truth is not a business. It cannot be sold. Because truth is not a belief. Truth is experience. And experience requires courage. Belief requires only fear. So first be honest. Don't deceive yourself with spiritual words. When you say, I want truth, ask yourself, do you want truth or do you want to feel safe? Most people want to feel safe. And the moment you see that clearly, a transformation begins. Because then you stop pretending. Then you can start real work. Now, why do you want security so much? Because you are afraid of life. Life is change. Life is uncertainty. Life is impermanence. Everything is moving. Nothing is fixed. You are born, you grow, you love, you lose, you die. You cannot hold anything forever. Even your body is changing every day. Even your thoughts are changing every day. Even your relationships are changing every day. But the mind wants permanence. The mind wants something unchanging to cling to. So it creates truths, fixed ideas, and it calls them truth. But they are not truth. They are strategies. They are your blankets against existence. So understand, security is the mind's demand for permanence. But existence is impermanent. So the mind is always in conflict with existence. And conflict is suffering. You suffer not because life is difficult. You suffer because you want life to be predictable. You want guarantees, but there are no guarantees. The only guarantee is change. So if you want real peace, you have to make friends with change. You have to relax into uncertainty, and that is the beginning of truth. Now, truth is not a doctrine. Truth is a way of seeing. It is the clarity that arises when you are not afraid. Fear creates beliefs. Fear creates imagination. Fear creates consolations. Fear creates God as a protector, heaven as a reward, karma as a guarantee, fate as a script. Fear wants the universe to be like a government office, organized, controlled, predictable. But existence is wild. Existence is a dance, not a machine. Truth is to see this dance and move with it. Now, there is another thing. You want security because you don't trust yourself. Yes. If you trusted your own awareness, you would not need beliefs. If you trusted your own intelligence, you would not need someone else's conclusions. If you trusted your own heart, you would not need a borrowed map. But you have been told again and again, you are ignorant, you are sinful, you are not worthy, you cannot find the way, follow. So you became dependent. And dependency is the root of your desire for security. Security is dependence. Truth is independence. Truth makes you alone. Not lonely alone in the sense of being complete within yourself, but the mind is afraid of aloneness. So it holds on to crowds, traditions, institutions, scriptures, leaders. It calls it faith, but it is only fear wearing a beautiful mask. Now, let me tell you, truth is not comforting. Truth is liberating. And liberation is not comfortable in the beginning because comfort is old prison habits. When you are released from prison, at first you feel lost. The walls were familiar, the routine was familiar, the rules were familiar. Even though it was a prison, it was known. Freedom is unknown. So the prisoner trembles in freedom. This is why people return to their prisons again and again. They return to their suffering, to their old patterns, to their beliefs, to their predictable misery, because predictable misery feels safer than unpredictable bliss. Now, if you really want truth, you will have to drop this addiction to safety. And dropping safety does not mean you become reckless. It means you stop clinging. It means you become available to life. Now see what happens when you cling to security. You become rigid. A rigid mind cannot learn. A rigid mind cannot love. A rigid mind cannot grow, because growth needs flexibility. Truth needs flexibility. Truth is alive. It changes with deeper seeing. So a man of truth is not a man of conclusions. He is a man of openness. He is ready to be wrong. He is ready to unlearn. He is ready to die to the old and be reborn to the new. But the man who wants security clings to being right, clings to beliefs, clings to ideologies. And clinging creates violence. Because when you cling, anyone who threatens your belief, threatens your security, then you fight, then you hate, then you become fanatic. Fanaticism is fear. So whenever you see yourself defending a belief with anger, no, you are not defending truth. You are defending your insecurity. Truth does not need defense. Truth has its own strength. So the first step is awareness. Catch yourself when you seek certainty. Notice it in small things. You want to know what will happen tomorrow. You want to know if the relationship will last. You want to know if you will succeed. You want to know if people will approve. This constant wanting to know is not curiosity, it is anxiety. Curiosity is playful, anxiety is trembling. So see it. And when you see it, don't condemn it, just see the pattern. Seeing is enough to create distance. Now we enter deeper because the mind is very clever. It can even use the word truth as a disguise. It can make insecurity look like spirituality. It can make fear look like faith. It can make dependency look like devotion. So you have to understand the mind's mechanism. Otherwise you will keep moving in circles. How does the mind create security? By creating a structure. A structure means fixed answers, fixed ideas, fixed beliefs. The mind wants ready-made conclusions. It wants to avoid the shock of not knowing. It wants to avoid the trembling of uncertainty. So it starts collecting beliefs like a miser collects coins. These beliefs become your inner bank balance. And the strange thing is, the more beliefs you have, the more insecure you become. Because now you have more to protect. Now you have more to defend. Now you have more that can be shaken. A man with one belief is afraid. A man with 10 beliefs is more afraid. A man with 1,000 beliefs is continuously trembling because life will not fit your beliefs. Life is bigger. So your beliefs will be challenged again and again, and every challenge will feel like an attack. So your life becomes a constant state of defense. And defense is not living. Defense is a war. So the more you seek security through beliefs, the more you create fear. This is why religious people are often afraid. They talk about God, but they are afraid of death. They talk about heaven, but they are afraid of hell. They talk about peace, but they are afraid of doubt. Because their peace is not real peace, it is borrowed peace. Borrowed peace is fragile. One question and it breaks. So they avoid questions. And if someone questions, they become angry. Remember, anger is a symptom of insecurity. A secure man can listen to any question. He may say, I don't know, He may say, let me see. He may even say, you are right, there is no problem. Only the insecure man becomes defensive. Now, why does the mind avoid not knowing? Because not knowing is a crack in the ego. Ego lives by knowing. Ego says, I know who I am. I know what is right. I know what is wrong. I know what is true. Knowing gives ego a solid identity. If you enter not knowing, ego feels it is dissolving. So the mind keeps you away from not knowing. But truth begins in not knowing. Only when you can say, I don't know, you become available. Otherwise, you are filled with conclusions and truth cannot enter. Truth needs emptiness. Belief fills you. Truth requires space. So your whole spiritual journey begins with one courageous step, dropping your false knowing. Now, see how the mind manufactures belief. It takes something unknown and gives it a name. It takes the mystery and turns it into a doctrine. It takes life and turns it into ideology. Because ideology is manageable. Mystery is not. A child asks, what is death? The parents give an answer. The child feels relief. The child doesn't have to face the unknown. So answers become sedatives. People are not interested in truth. They are interested in sedation. They want something that helps them sleep. And beliefs are like lullabies. They help you sleep in life. But life is not meant for sleep. Life is meant for awakening. So to seek truth, you will have to drop your lullabies. Now, another reason why people want security, they want to avoid responsibility. Yes, truth makes you responsible. Belief makes you obedient. Belief says, follow this rule. Truth says, see for yourself. Belief gives you a ready-made path. It says, do this, don't do that. So you don't have to look, you don't have to understand. You simply follow. Following is easy. Seeing is difficult because seeing requires you to be alert. Following allows you to be asleep. So belief is attractive to the lazy mind, and the mind is lazy. It wants shortcuts. Truth has no shortcuts. Truth is a pilgrimage, not a package. So remember, whenever you want security, you are also wanting someone else to carry your responsibility. You want a priest, a leader, a book, a tradition to decide for you. So if you fail, you can say, I followed. If you suffer, you can say, it is God's will. If you are confused, you can say, it is written. This is a way of escaping your freedom. Freedom is heavy for the immature mind because freedom means you cannot blame anyone. So people choose security. Security is a bargain. You give your freedom, you receive comfort. But comfort is poisonous because you lose your soul. Now understand, security is always a prison. Even if it looks golden, even if it looks religious, even if it looks moral, a prison is a prison. Because in prison, you are not exploring, you are not discovering, you are not living openly. You are living by rules. And rules may create order, but they cannot create truth. Truth is not order. Truth is chaos too. Truth includes the wildness of existence. Truth is a river, not a canal. So if you want truth, you will have to accept wildness. Now, how do you accept wildness? By meditation. Meditation is the art of sitting with uncertainty. Meditation is the courage to be with yourself without any support. When you sit silently, the mind starts asking for security. It brings thoughts, it brings beliefs, it brings fears, it brings memories, it brings plans. It wants you to hold something. If you don't hold, the mind feels lost. And in that lostness, a new clarity arises. This clarity is not borrowed. This clarity is not based on belief. This clarity is your own seeing. And this is what I call truth. Truth is not something you believe. Truth is something you see when the mind is silent. Now I want you to see a subtle point. People think belief gives them courage. They think because I believe in God, I am not afraid. But look closely, it is not courage, it is avoidance. Courage means you face fear. Belief means you cover fear with a story. So belief doesn't remove fear, it hides fear. And what is hidden will come back. So believers are continuously haunted. They may look calm, but inside they are suppressing doubt, and doubt is natural. Doubt is intelligence. Doubt is the beginning of inquiry. But belief calls doubt sin. So believers become guilty whenever doubt arises. So they suppress it. And suppressed doubt becomes poison. Now, a true seeker is not afraid of doubt. He uses doubt as a tool. He says, good, my old certainty is shaking. Now I can look again. So doubt becomes a blessing, not a curse. Truth requires doubt because truth requires inquiry. So don't be ashamed of doubt. Be ashamed of blind belief. Blind belief is cowardice. You cannot live without security unless you discover something deeper than security. Otherwise, you will simply become anxious. So I am not telling you to drop security and become afraid. I am telling you to drop security and discover trust. Security is from the mind. Trust is from awareness. Security is dependent. Trust is inner strength. Security needs guarantees. Trust needs only presence. So the whole question becomes how to move from security to trust. Now understand the difference first. Security means you want the future to be controlled. You want certainty about what will happen. You want life to behave according to your expectations. Trust means you don't know what will happen and yet you are not disturbed because whatever happens, you will meet it with awareness. Security says, I need life to be predictable. Trust says, I can be present. So security is an attempt to control life. Trust is the courage to live. And remember, Life cannot be controlled. You can only create illusions of control. So security is always false. It may give temporary comfort, but it cannot give real peace. Real peace comes only when you stop fighting the unpredictable nature of existence. Now, why are you so desperate for security? Because you believe that if life becomes uncertain, you will collapse. You don't trust your own inner resources. You don't trust your own consciousness. So you want external support, but external supports are fragile. One day they will be taken away. Death will take them away. Change will take them away. Time will take them away. So if your peace depends on supports, you will remain afraid. So the only solution is become your own support. And you become your own support through meditation. Meditation is not a ritual. Meditation is not a belief. Meditation is the discovery of an inner center that cannot be shaken. When you find that center, you don't need guarantees, because your peace is not borrowed, it is yours. Now, many people misunderstand trust. They think trust means trust in someone, trust in a guru, trust in a religion. No, that is against security. Real trust is trust in existence, and it is not belief. It is a fragrance that arises when you are silent. When you become quiet, you start feeling that life is not against you. Life is simply moving. Life is not personal. It is not trying to punish you. It is not trying to reward you. It is simply flowing, and you are part of it. So if you flow with it, there is harmony. If you resist it, there is suffering. Trust is harmony. Now, how to cultivate trust? The first step is accept not knowing. Not knowing is the beginning of trust, because the mind wants to know everything so it can control everything. But existence is a mystery. So if you insist on knowing, you will suffer continuously. So learn to say, I don't know. This small sentence is like a key, because in I don't know, the ego relaxes. In I don't know, the mind's pressure is released. In I don't know, you become open. And openness is the door to truth. Now, the second step, become more rooted in the present. Security lives in the future. Trust lives in now. So, whenever you catch your mind running into the future, planning, worrying, imagining, bring it back gently, not with violence, not with discipline like a soldier, gently like a mother bringing a child back. Bring it back to breath. Breath is always now. Bring it back to your body. Body is always now. Bring it back to sound, to silence, to sensation. This is meditation. The more you live in now, the less you need security. Because security is needed only when you are living in the future. Now, the third step, see how beliefs are used as fear management. Whenever you feel afraid, the mind immediately tries to create a story. It says everything will be okay because of this belief, or it says everything will be okay because God is watching, or it says everything happens for a reason. These may sound beautiful, but they are often used to avoid directly facing fear. So instead of moving into stories, move into the sensation of fear itself. Feel it in the chest, feel it in the stomach, feel it in the throat, and just watch. Don't label it, don't interpret it, watch it. You will see fear is a wave. If you don't feed it with the stories, it rises and falls. And when it falls, you will feel strong because you didn't escape, you faced it. Each time you face fear, trust grows, because trust is not belief, trust is earned through experience. You experience that you can face the unknown and still remain alive, still remain aware. So trust grows. Now, the fourth step, understand that life's unpredictability is not a problem, it is beauty. If everything was predictable, life would be dead. Mystery is life. Surprise is life. Change is life. So don't ask for a life without uncertainty. That would be asking for death. So instead, ask for awareness. Awareness can dance with uncertainty. Ego cannot. Now, the fifth step. Drop the idea that truth will make you comfortable. Truth will make you free, not comfortable. Freedom can be uncomfortable in the beginning because it demands maturity. Freedom demands that you become responsible for your life. So stop asking for comfort. Ask for growth. Ask for clarity. Ask for awakening. And then comfort will come as a side effect, a deeper comfort, not the comfort of security, but the comfort of inner centeredness. Now, let me bring the whole thing to a simple essence. You don't want truth because truth will take away your props. Truth will take away your borrowed answers. Truth will take away your false identities. Truth will take away your certainty. And the mind is afraid, so it chooses security. But security is a lie. Truth is the only real thing. So if you truly want peace, you will have to go through the discomfort of truth. That discomfort is like surgery. It hurts, but it heals. Security is like painkillers. It hides the symptom, but the disease remains. So choose healing, not hiding. Now, what does a life of trust look like? A man of trust still plans, but he does not cling to plans. A man of trust still works, but he does not worry about outcomes. A man of trust still loves, but he does not possess. A man of trust still faces problems, but he does not become fearful, because deep down he knows whatever happens, he can meet it. He has his awareness. He has his presence. And presence is the only true security. So the ultimate security is insecurity accepted. Yes, the ultimate security is knowing that there is no security and still feeling okay. This is trust. And when trust arises, you are free. You no longer need beliefs to hide behind. You no longer need doctrines to hold. You no longer need guarantees to breathe. You breathe because breathing is enough. you live, because living is enough. This is the beginning of a religious life, not religion, but religiosity. Religiosity means living with wonder, with openness, with humility, with gratitude. Religiosity means living without conclusion, because conclusions kill inquiry, and inquiry is the path of truth. So remember, truth is not safe, but truth is real. Security is safe, but security is false. Choose the real, and slowly you will discover a deeper safety, the safety of awareness, a safety that no change can destroy, a safety that death cannot take away. But truth is not understood like a conclusion. Truth is lived like a fire. So I will go one step further, not as a new theory, but as a way. Because the mind's old habit will return again and again. It will look for safety. It will beg for certainty. It will ask for a guarantee. This is natural. Don't make it a sin. Just remember, every time your mind asks for security, it is simply confessing its fear. So the real question becomes, can you sit with fear without covering it? If you can, you are on the path. If you cannot, you will create a belief. Belief is nothing but fear with makeup. Now, fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It says you are trying to live without a crutch. You are trying to stand on your own feet. The moment you remove the crutch, the legs tremble. They tremble not because the legs are weak, but because they have forgotten their strength. So don't run back to the crutch. Stay a little. Let the trembling be there. And slowly the trembling will turn into steadiness. This is how inner strength is born. Inner strength is not given by any scripture. It is grown through encounter. The encounter with uncertainty. Now, I want you to see one very subtle thing. Most people confuse certainty with clarity. Certainty is ego. Clarity is awareness. Certainty says this is final. Clarity says this is clear now. Clarity has humility. Certainty has arrogance. Clarity is like a lamp. It illuminates this moment, this step. Certainty is like a blindfold. It claims it already knows the whole path. And because of that claim, certainty stops you from learning. So, the goal is not to live without guidance. The goal is to live without arrogance. You can have clarity without certainty. You can walk without a map if your eyes are open. Now, how do you open the eyes? Meditation. But understand meditation correctly. Meditation is not a method to feel safe. Many people use meditation also as security. If I meditate, nothing bad will happen. If I meditate, life will be controlled. No, that is again the same disease. Meditation is the courage to sit in the unknown and not escape. Meditation is the decision to be with reality as it is, not as you want it. So even meditation can become your truth, or it can become your security. If you use it to avoid life, it becomes security. If you use it to meet life, it becomes truth. Now, I will give you a few simple experiments, not commandments, experiments. First experiment, practice not knowing with love. Once a day, deliberately enter a small situation without demanding certainty. For example, when you are walking, don't ask where will this lead. Just walk. Feel the trees. Feel the air. Let the walk be enough. When you are eating, don't think, is this right? Is this wrong? Is this healthy? Is this unhealthy? Eat with awareness. Taste the food. Let eating be a meditation. When you are talking to someone, don't prepare your reply too quickly. Listen. Let silence be okay. These are small ways of training the mind. You don't need to control everything. And remember, the mind's obsession with control is not intelligence, it is fear. Second experiment. Drop the need to conclude. The mind loves conclusions. It wants to finish everything quickly. It says, so what is the final answer? But life is not a question with one answer. Life is an unfolding. So when you feel the urge to conclude about a person, about yourself, about existence, pause. Say inwardly, maybe it is more mysterious than my mind thinks. This will save you from many wrong judgments. You think you know people, but you don't. You think you know yourself, but you don't. So keep your conclusions loose. A loose conclusion is intelligence. A tight conclusion is stupidity. Third experiment. Watch how your mind uses belief as emotional insurance. Whenever you are anxious, notice the mind rushing to comfort phrases. Everything will be okay. God will protect. It is written. It must be for a reason. Again, I am not against these phrases, but watch their function. If they arise from trust, they will feel silent, deep, relaxed. If they arise from fear, they will feel hurried, desperate, tense, like a man repeating a mantra to stop himself from shaking. So don't repeat comfort. Enter the fear. Let it shake you. And watch it. Fear has a beginning and an end. Belief keeps fear hidden and continues. Now, let me tell you a strange truth. Your mind wants security because you have not tasted the joy of insecurity. Yes, there is a joy, just as the bird has joy in open sky, not in a cage. Just as the river has joy in movement, not in stagnation. Just as the dancer has joy in flow, not in rigid pose. Insecurity, when accepted, becomes adventure. Security, when clung to, becomes boredom. And boredom is one of the deepest miseries. It is slow death. So your search for security is also your search for boredom, but you don't know it. You choose a predictable life and then you wonder why you feel dead. Truth brings aliveness because it is always fresh. Security brings dullness because it repeats. Now a deeper layer. You want security because you want to avoid love. This may shock you, but look closely. Love is the most insecure thing. There is no guarantee, no contract, no certainty. You can love today and the person can leave tomorrow. You can love and the person can die. You can love and you can be misunderstood. So the mind says, don't go too deep. So people live half-hearted lives. They call it safety, but it is fear. So they never taste real love. And without love, life feels empty. So you see, security is not only against truth, security is also against love. Truth and love have the same quality, openness. So if you learn to live without security, you become capable of love, because you become capable of risk. And love is risk. Now people say, I want a relationship where I feel safe. This is the wrong demand. A relationship cannot give you safety. It can only give you growth. If you want safety, you will create possessiveness. You will create control. You will create jealousy, and love will die. So don't ask love to be safe. Ask yourself to be aware. Then even if love breaks, you won't break, because you have your center. This is the true safety. Not that nothing will go wrong, but that you will not be destroyed by whatever happens. This is trust. Now, let me bring you to the most essential distinction. Security is psychological. Truth is existential. Psychology is the mind's arrangement. Existence is the whole. The mind is always trying to negotiate with existence. If I do this, will you protect me? If I believe this, will you guarantee my future? Existence does not negotiate. Existence simply is. So if you want to live truthfully, you have to stop negotiating. You have to stop bargaining. You have to stop making your life a transaction with God, with society, with fate. Just live. Live with awareness. Live with sincerity. Live with totality. And whatever happens, accept it as part of the dance. Acceptance is not resignation. Acceptance is intelligence. Resignation is sadness. Acceptance is clarity. When you accept, you don't fight reality. You act from reality. When you fight, your action becomes blind. So drop the fight. Now you may still ask, but what about practical life? Don't we need some security, food, shelter, money? Yes, you need practical arrangements, but practical arrangements are different from psychological security. You can have a home and still live openly. You can earn money and still not be dependent on it for inner peace. You can plan and still not cling. The trouble is not planning, the trouble is attachment to plans. The trouble is not earning, the trouble is identifying with earning. So live intelligently, but don't become obsessed. Your obsession is your insecurity. Now I will give you a final meditation, very simple. At night, before sleep, sit silently for 5 minutes and remember all the moments in the day when you demanded certainty. Maybe you demanded certainty from a person. Tell me you won't leave. Maybe you demanded certainty from yourself. I must be perfect. Maybe you demanded certainty from life. Nothing should go wrong. Just remember, not with guilt, with observation, and then whisper to yourself, it is okay not to know. Feel this sentence. Let it sink. It is okay not to know. And then, for a few breaths, allow the unknown to be present like a friend sitting beside you. Don't try to define it. Don't try to name it. Just allow. This small practice will slowly rewire your mind, because the mind has been trained for thousands of years to cling. Now you are training it to relax. Now I end with a simple statement. Truth is not a destination you reach, it is a way you walk. And the way is this: drop the need to be safe and discover the courage to be present. When you are present, you are not afraid. Not because the future is guaranteed, but because you have touched something deeper than future, the eternal now. In the now, there is no fear. Fear is always about tomorrow. In the now, there is only this breath, this heartbeat, this existence. And existence is enough. So if you want truth, don't ask for security. Ask for awareness. And awareness will give you a security that is not security, a rootedness that cannot be shaken. That rootedness is what I call trust. That is all.